All right, we're going to try this again. John, hit me on the Discord if you can hear me. All right, let's see here. Looks like I am in the corner. Maybe. No. I think we're messed up again. What is going on here? Remove. There. Okay. Now I think we're here. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. Let's get this going here. I don't have a whole lot of time today. We're going to go through all the expected starts starting in Arizona. Got Alec Thomas got sent down to the minors. He's going to be a 0. Change a few things around here. He is going to be red because he's in the minors. I make those guys dark red. And obviously a 0 start as he will not be with the big league club. Christian Walker still on the IL is going to also be a 0. Corbin Carroll did start against the lefty last time. You can see his lefty starts are here and there, but usually sits. When we look at the weekend lineup for pitchers for Arizona, let's customize this tomorrow for 3 days. Arizona has righty, lefty, righty. So I don't think you can give him 3 starts. Probably 2.5. He might start against the lefty, might not. Eugenio Suarez has been really hot. 18th best over the last 7 days. He hasn't come out since June 27th. I expect him in all 3. We've got Gabby Moreno still on the IL. He is a 0. Geraldo Perdomo has been starting almost every day, but does get a break here and there. I think he's about due for a break, but I'm not sure. I'm going to give him 2.5. Jake McCarthy's been red hot. Number 1 hitter in the league. I think he's playing every day right now. Let's make him green. Jock Peterson, he only starts against right-handed pitching. No exceptions. There are 2 of them over the weekend. He is 2 starts. Josh Bell's been hot. 72nd. Now he's cooling off a little bit, but he hasn't missed a start in a long time since he got traded to Arizona. So he's a 3. Ketel Marte in and out of the lineup with injuries. I don't think you can trust him right now. I'm going to give him a 0. I don't want him in there because he tried to play, thought he was healthy, and then came out after 1 at bat, didn't play the other 2 games. So let's avoid him. Let's just make him an injury. Kevin Newman would probably play since Marte is not, but only against the lefty right now would I trust him. So I'm going to give him 1.5 extra half game in case he starts one of those other 2 without Marte in the lineup. Lourdes Gurriel looks like he's fine. He just sits a lot. It's really hard to trust him for a full weekend. I'd say 2.5 for Gurriel. Adam Duvall, I think, is about to get DFA'd by Atlanta, so we'll see what happens here. He's been sitting against lefties where he would almost always start against lefties. Michael Harris is now back. With Soler having an injury, does he get it? Does he stick around a little longer? Hard to say. Let's see what I didn't realize Soler was hurt. Let's see what he's dealing with, if it's something serious or not. Hamstring. Oh, I hate hamstring injuries. They tend to linger. Not play in the finale. Yep. I don't trust that at all. Let's Well, we're not to Solare yet, but for Duvall, looks like Atlanta gets 3 righties. Maybe he gets a game and a half. I mean, you're not gonna start him anyway. Riley should be in there all 3. He almost never comes out. Eddie Rosario was DFA'd. He is no longer with the club. He's now with the Mets. Jared Kelenic was starting every day. Now he's been sitting against lefties. As we said here, 3 righties for Atlanta. So I think you can expect 3 starts for Jared Kelenic. Soler, we just talked about, we're not going to trust. We're going to assume he's out this weekend and injured. Marcell Ozuna doesn't come out. Matt Olson doesn't come out. Michael Harris is back, and I believe against the righties. He even started against the lefty, but against the righties, he's definitely going to be in there. Let's get him green. Issue with Harris is his projection is inflated because of the way that things are set up right now. I'm still working on a fix for this. I do not think he's going to score 61 points. He basically came back, played 1 game, hit a grand slam, knocked in another run. So 5 RBIs, a homer, huge game. And that was his only game on the record since he's missed so much time. You can see his IL stint goes all the way back to beginning or middle of June. So I would expect him to be in there the whole series. I think he's a decent play, but he's certainly not a 61-point play. You got to kind of take some of this with a grain of salt. This number will come down as he gets more games in the books. Orlando Arcia playing every day. He's at 3. Ozzy Albies is still out. And we got Ramon Laureano. He's been starting against the lefties where Duvall has not. Expect him to play over the weekend, especially with Soler out. I wouldn't be surprised if he played all 3 games. I'm going to give him 2.5 just to be safe, but he should be in there most of the time right now, especially if they're trying to get rid of Duvall. Sean Murphy been kind of trading starts with Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate. d'Arnaud starts today. I'd expect Murphy to start on Friday and then again on Sunday. So I'll give him 2, and we'll give d'Arnaud the other 1 behind the plate. d'Arnaud may actually DH if well, no, Ozuna's always their DH. Never mind. Adley Rutschman. Let's move to Baltimore. Again, trying to do this as quickly as I can for you. Hopefully, we're not going too fast. Adley Rutschman been heating up a little bit at the plate, but again, as you can see with Baltimore, they really don't want to DH him because they have other guys that they like to DH. I think Rutschman probably gets 2 to 3, so I'm going to give him 2.5. Yeah, I mean, he does get 4 in a row every so often. Well, there's a rest day in between, but he got 3 in a row here. And one of those was probably a day game on a Thursday. So, yeah, I got to go 2.5, I think, on him. It's too bad. He's such a good hitter. You'd like him in there, but you just can't risk that. Santander's cooled off considerably from where he was a couple weeks ago, but he's still an everyday player. I give him 3 starts. Cedric Mullins. He's actually heated up a little bit. They don't like him against lefties. Baltimore gets righty, righty, righty. I would expect Mullins to be in there probably all 3. Know how much I trust that. We'll go 2.5 for him. Colton Cowser, you can play him. He's in there every day right now. Cooled off a little bit, but he's still pretty hot. Eloy, really like him against the lefties. Not so much against the righties. I think maybe he gets 1 start. Gunnar Henderson should be in there all 3. JD Davis. JD Davis. What's he doing here? Well, I thought he'd signed with Baltimore. He's moved around like 5 times. I must have had the wrong team. We'll find him when we get to him. Right now, he's a 0. Don't play JD Davis. Jordan Westberg, 0. Jorge Mateo, still on the IL. Where are we here? Yep. 0-0-0. Ryan Mountcastle playing most of the time, fairly hot, but he does sit every couple of games, it seems like, and looks like he's probably ready for 1 here. I'm going to give him 2.5 just in case he sits down one of those games. Ryan O'Hearn should be in there against all the right-handed pitchers. He almost always starts against righties. I'm going to give him 3 with the 3 righties. And we're on to Boston. Cedar Rafaela, not coming out of that lineup. He's a 3. Connor Wong, been playing most of the time. He will just take a rest day here as a catcher, so I'm going to give him a 2. He's a starting catcher. Danny Jansen's been picking up the backup catcher starts, so he's a 1. David Hamilton, pretty strong against right-handers, but nothing against lefties. Boston gets righty, lefty, so I'd expect Hamilton to get 2 starts. Dominic Smith, same things, been platooning, not hitting against lefties lately, so I'd give him a 2 as well. Jaron Duran, back from suspension, expect him to play every day. Yoshida doesn't come out anymore. He's a 3. Devers never comes out unless he's injured. Well, he did get a rest day last Sunday, so I think he's fine. He played about 50 games before he got that rest day. Rob Refsnyder, really mostly left-handers. Couple starts against righties with Tyler O'Neill on the IL. Maybe 1 for Refsnyder over the weekend. Tristan Casas still can't make it off the IL. O'Neill's still out. Grissom, is Grissom back? Where did he go? Oh, he's in AAA now, so he's a 0. I'm going to move him to dark red as he is no longer even on the roster. Willie Abreu will be your starter against right-handed pitching, but he'll sit against some lefties and sit against all the lefties lately. And with the 2 righties, 1 lefty, I would give him 2 starts as well. And we're on to the Cubs. Let's take a quick peek at the Cubs. Righty. So those left-handed platoon bats for the Cubs should be in play here. Ian Happ. Well, okay, let's start at the top here. Cody Bellinger, he should be in there every day regardless. Dansby doesn't come out. Ian Happ doesn't come out. Paredes is playing every day. Bush definitely will be in there against all the righties, and he even hits against some lefties, but lately he's been sitting. All righties, he's in there. Miguel Amaya, starting catcher, he should get 2. Mike Tauchman, they used to play him against righties. Now they just play him real sparingly. I'm just going to give him 1 game right now. Nico Horner should be in there every day. Pete Crow Armstrong is playing every day and playing fairly well now. Seiya Suzuki's in there every day. And we are on to the White Sox. I love these teams that are cut and dried and real easy. Not very many of them. Cubs, Houston, LA. Other than that, it's platoon this, platoon that. Andrew Benintendi's been pretty hot. I've been hitting against lefties and righties, so I think you can play him all the time right now. I'm going to make him green. He seems to have fallen back into an everyday role. Andrew Vaughn plays every day. Corey Julks is really here and there, mostly against lefties. White Sox get righty, lefty. Let's give Julks 1 start over the weekend. Gavin Sheets, mostly against right-handed pitching, but he's been hitting against both, and he is a hot hitter right now. I expect him to play all 3. Corey Lee, starting catcher. I expect him to get 2 of the 3. Lennon Sosa is, when did they get rid of him again? Where did he go? Nope, he's back. Playing against lefties, some righties. What do you like him or not? No, I don't. I'll give him 2 starts. Luis Robert, however you want to say it. Gets a break here and there, but he just had one on Monday. I think he probably plays over the weekend. Nick Senzel, I'm sure they like against lefties, although he didn't play against the last 2. I don't think you can trust him for more than 1 start. Nicky Lopez, they only really like against right-handed pitching, and even then, sit him sometimes. I think he probably plays 2 out of the 3. And we are on to Cincinnati. And if there are guys I'm not covering, you can always let me know, and I will add them to my sheet. Just guys that are not full-time players, I usually wait until they have a weekend or a week where they are getting full-time playing time, and then I'll add them, because otherwise we're probably not going to play them anyway. Cincinnati, I've got righty against Cincinnati this weekend. So Jake Fraley, if he's healthy, should be in there. Looks like he's healthy. He sits against lefties. He plays against righties when he's in there. Ellie de la Cruz, obviously, in there every game. Candelario did get a day off finally on Sunday. Before that, he had played a huge stretch of games. I think he's fine for the weekend, all 3. Jonathan India, couple homers last night. Maybe he's breaking out of this slump. He did get a day off on Monday. Before that, he played a whole bunch of games in a row. I expect him in all 3. Nick Martini still on the IL. Noelvi Marte, you've got pretty regular playing time. He's struggled. They sat him down a little bit. Just got a day off on Tuesday. He's not really hitting all that well right now, though. I'm going to give him 2 starts. Santiago Espinal, they like him against lefties. Obviously, no lefties this weekend. I think max he probably gets 1 start. Spencer Steer's been heating up. He's going to be in there. Stuart Fairchild is mostly a short side platoon, so he will start against those lefties. No lefties this weekend. I don't think he gets any starts. TJ Friedel, he should be in there all weekend. He looks good. Ty France has actually been playing pretty regularly. I would say 2.5 on him. And Stevenson is your starting catcher, but he also DHs sometimes. I think, let's see, he's played 5 in a row heading into today. Well, he probably gets a day over the weekend, I would think then. I'm only going to give him 2. Will Benson usually starts against right-handed pitching, although recently he's been sitting more. I think maybe 1.5, kind of a half player right now. Cleveland, Andres Jimenez. He gets in there every day. He should be fine. Angel Martinez got sent down to the minors. We have Bo Naylor, starting catcher right now. He's playing kind of split time. I would say, let's see, are the Guardians playing today? I don't think so. So he probably gets Friday and Sunday. Let's go 2 there. Rocchio, seems like he's playing 2 out of every 3 games right now. So we'll give him a 2. Daniel Schneemann, he's lost his everyday role. He's kind of here and there now. We're going to give him like 1.5. Either 1 or 2 starts, I would think. David Fry, not hot with the bat right now, and he's still playing a decent amount. I think he probably gets 2 starts, either catching or at DH. Jose Ramirez should be in there all the time. Josh Naylor all the time. Lane Thomas, they kind of sat down a little bit. I expected him to play every day, and now he's kind of playing every other day, which is kind of weird, but I don't think you want to start him right now. He's dead cold. Stephen Kwan, he's in there every day. Tyler Freeman, been pretty decent since they called him back up, and then he cooled off again. Or maybe that's Brennan. I don't know. I can never get those 2 straight. Freeman looks like he's playing about 1 out of every 2 or 3 games, so I'm just going to give him 1 start over the weekend. And we are on to Colorado. All right, Brendan Rodgers should play pretty much every day, and he's actually pretty hot right now. He's the 1 bat on Colorado that's doing pretty well. Brenton Doyle, he should play every day. Got a day off on a Sunday. Charlie Blackmon sitting against some lefties. Colorado gets 3 righties, though, so I expect Blackmon in there all weekend. Elias Diaz, starting catcher, 2 out of 3. Ezekiel Tovar should be in there all weekend. Hunter Goodman, looks like he's just playing kind of sporadically and only against lefties. I don't really expect him to play against any of these right-handed pitchers. We'll give him a 0. Do not start. Jacob Stallings is your backup catcher, so he's going to get 1 start. Jake Cave does play against the right-handed pitchers. Expect him in there all weekend. Chris Bryant is back on the IL as usual. So let's throw him back to pink. He's probably done for the year. Michael Tolia, he has played every day since being called up, and he's been pretty good. So I think he's a 3. Nolan Jones still out on the IL. Ryan McMahon should play every day. Got the day off on Wednesday. Got the day off last Thursday. Got the day off Saturday before that. He's just been kind of cold, but plays almost all the time. I expect him out there, especially with the day off Wednesday. So give him 3. And Colt Keith is on Detroit. Let's move there. All right, so Detroit here. Colt Keith, he definitely plays against righties, and they have finally been hitting him against some lefties. I think he's in there all weekend. He's starting to figure it out. They've got 2 righties, 1 lefty here. So let's keep him at a 3, and I'm going to change him to an everyday player. Make him green. Gio Urshela, the playing time was a little hit and miss there for a while. I feel like he's kind of getting back in a regular rotation here. He did just get the day off on Thursday, so I'd expect him in all weekend. Javi Baez, some kind of minor injury, but back today, so expect him to be okay. I'd say he's 2 or 3 starts. Let's see, Justin Henry Malloy. We've got pretty regular playing time for him. I'd say he's like a 2.5. Did just get a day off on a Tuesday, but he just sits randomly, especially with Kerry Carpenter back now, DHing some. I think you're going to see Malloy's starts get cut into. Speaking of Carpenter, he started the first 3 games off the IL after missing months, it seemed like. May 26th was the last time he was healthy. Came in on Tuesday, hit 2 bombs. Yesterday, hit another one, and that is just crushing his projection up high because he didn't have any other stats in any period because he's been out for so long. That will normalize, but for this week, do not expect him to score 64 points. I mean, it's possible, but very improbable, I would say. I do expect him to play against all right-handed pitchers and maybe some left-handed pitchers. They honestly should be starting him against lefties. They don't have a better option. So I'm going to give him 2.5 for this week. We'll see if he starts against Rodon on Saturday. But the 53.39 is way too high. I don't think you can expect that. We've got Matt Vierling has been an everyday player for a while now for them. He did sit today, so I think that means he's probably in all weekend. Riley Green is getting close. He should be back soon. He's going out on a rehab assignment today, but for now he's a 0. Wencel Perez still on the IL as well. Zach McKinstry, he is not an everyday player. I would expect him to get 2 to 3 starts, though. I'm going to give him 2.5. And we are on to Houston. This one should be pretty quick because Houston plays the same guys every day, which is nice. Alex Bregman, he's a starter. Myers should be in there. Jeremy Pena should be in there. John Singleton has been losing a lot of playing time. I'd say he's maybe 1 start. Jose Altuve should be in there. Kyle Tucker, shin bruise, still on the IL. I say this every week. Mauricio Dubon, he's been playing a little more recently. I would say he probably gets 2 starts over the weekend. Yainer Diaz, he never comes out. He's either DHing or catching. Jordan will be out there. And that is it for Houston. That's how fast they are. They are awesome. Thank you, Houston. Bobby Witt, not coming out. Play him if you got him. Freddie Fermin, they love against left-handed pitching. Let's see who KC gets this weekend. 2 lefties. I expect Fermin to be out there at least twice. Might even be 3 times. Hasn't been as hot lately. Let's give him 2. Hunter Renfroe, been an everyday player for a little while now, but recently he's cooled way off, and I think you're starting to see him lose some playing time to MJ Melendez. With the 2 lefties, I would expect him in at least 2 times. Isbell, they really don't love against the left-handed pitching. I think maybe he's a 1 over the weekend. Michael Garcia has been better lately. Expect him to be in there, especially with him getting the day off on Wednesday. Michael Massey, looks like he's over whatever back injury he had. I was concerned about it because he's had all these back injuries in the past. They're leading him off. He's actually hitting pretty well, but they don't like him against left-handed pitching. I think he only gets 1 start, unfortunately. MJ Melendez, they like to sit against lefties as well. I don't think you can trust him for more than like 1.5. Paul DeYoung, he should be out there against those righties, I would think. But if you look at his playing time lately, it's pretty sporadic. His bat's fairly hot. I think he's in there twice at least. Salvi should be in there all 3. Vinny should be in there all 3. And we are on to the Angels. All right. Anthony Rendon, back from the IL. Looks like he's playing about 2 out of every 3. So we're going to give him a 2. And we're going to change that color. Get him off the IL. Brandon Drury plays stretches and then takes a day off, then plays some more. His playing time's real sporadic, though. I have a hard time thinking he's going to play all three. Joe Adele has been really consistent and got a day off yesterday. I think he's out there for all three. Logan O'Hoppe, thought got hurt, but maybe he's just cold. He's really cold. I think he's in there for probably two, but maybe only one. Either way, you're not going to start him right now. He's too cold. Rengifo on the IL. He's a 0. Moniak only plays against right-handed pitching. They have 2 righties, 1 lefty. I expect Moniak out there twice. You've got Nolan Schaunwell. He plays against pretty much everybody. Did get a day off last Saturday, but before that, you can see he's been playing all year. He's a 3. Taylor Ward back from paternity list. He looks fine. He's a 3. Willie Calhoun, another guy that they don't like against lefties. I think he's probably in there 2 out of the 3. Zach Neto, you've got almost every day. He just got a day off on Wednesday. He should be out there all 3. That's it for the Angels. Let's go to the Dodgers. Dodgers have Ahmed Rosario. They just cut. They just DFA'd him the other day, so he's going to be a 0. He is not with a team right now, so we're going to put him as a red. Andy Pajes playing kind of every other day right now. Played today, maybe gets the day off tomorrow and plays Saturday. I don't know what's going on with him. He was playing every day for a long time. I think he's a 1.5 right now until we figure out what's going on. Chris Taylor still on the IL. He's a 0. Enrique Hernandez has been playing every day. Now they start to have some players come back. We'll see if that continues. But for right now, I'm going to assume he sticks in that role. Freddie Freeman, he plays every day. Gavin Lux, they have been sitting against lefties. LA gets 3 righties. I expect Lux to get all 3 starts. James Outman is also in the minors. He's a 0. Jason Hayward just got hurt, I believe. Nope, didn't get hurt, but Betts came back. So they said they were going to put him in the outfield, which means less at bats for Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward played today, and they gave Betts a day off. So I would expect Betts in there all weekend. Hayward, I would expect on the bench most of the weekend. Maybe they give him 1 start. Hard to do anything with this Dodger lineup, though, because you just can't take anybody out. They're all too good. Kevin Kiermaier, he's going to play real sparingly now, I believe. He's kind of been splitting time with Pajes. I think he's a 1.5 as well. We got Max Muncy still on the IL. We've got Miguel Rojas. He is playing pretty regularly. I'd say he probably gets 2 out of the 3 over the weekend. Mookie Betts is back. I kind of thought he'd play all 4 against the Brewers, but looks like he's out of the lineup today. Still had a good first couple of games back. I expect him in there all weekend, by just giving him a little rest day to get himself back together. Nick Ahmed, they picked up. He started at shortstop. Well, they had some injuries. Now he's playing just once in a while. I think he's probably a 1. Shohei should be in there all weekend. Teo had a disappointing week. Hopefully for somebody who started him, he has a good game today. But he has been hot. I think he's in there all weekend. He almost never comes out. Tommy Edmonds a 0. He's still on the IL. Will Smith starting catcher, but they can't DH him because they have Ohtani, so he's going to be 2 starts. And we're on to Miami. All right. Miami, we have Jake Berger's just on fire. He's hitting home runs like crazy. He is carrying this team as much as he could possibly carry them right now. He's not coming out. 3 starts. Jesus Sanchez, since all the trades, played against some lefties, but sat against the last one. If we look at Miami, they've got Manaya on Friday, and then 2 righties. I expect Sanchez to be at least in there for 2, but maybe all 3. Let's give him 2.5. Nick Gordon got DFA'd. He's no longer with the team. He did sign back on. He's down in their AAA. Otto Lopez playing every day. Vidal Brujan. can't really trust him to play much. Definitely not against lefties. So that gives him 2 opportunities, and he's not a full-time player. So I'm just going to give him 1. Xavier Edwards been playing every day and playing pretty well. That's all I got from Miami. We'll probably look into Jonah Bride next week, as he has started to play every day and he's actually hitting pretty well. I don't think he has any cards. I looked for him and did not find him. Milwaukee, we have Andrew Monasterio is going to play against the lefty. If there is one, there is not. I expect him to not start at all. Blake Perkins, good defensive outfielder, but that doesn't do much for you. He is also on the IL. Oh, I didn't know that. Brewers are even my team, and I didn't even know that. Bryce Terang playing against the lefty here and there now again, but doesn't matter this weekend because it's 3 righties, so Bryce Terang will be in there all 3. Christian Yelich still on the IL with his back injury. Gary Sanchez will DH here and there and be the backup catcher, but they've kept Eric Haas on the roster. They start him every so often too. Carrying 3 catchers. I expect Gary Sanchez to maybe get a DH start one of the games this weekend. Jackson Chourio has been awesome. I expect him to stay in the everyday rotation. Jake Bowers usually does not play against lefties. I can't find him. There he is. Okay. And as you can see, he starts a couple and then he sits a couple. So he did hit a big home run the other day. Maybe he gets 2 starts over the weekend, 1 or 2, I would say. Garrett Mitchell has been really struggling. Probably continues to play with Blake Perkins out, but I mean, you're not going to start him anyway because his projection's so low, but I'll give him 2.5. Joey Ortiz starting to heat up a little bit, plays every day. Rhys Hoskins has been in there pretty close to every day. Just got a day off on Wednesday, so expect him in there all weekend. Sal Frelick sits against some lefties, but these are all righties. Expect him in there all weekend. William Contreras has been hot. I don't think he's coming out right now. Not Willie's hot. 3 games. Willie Adames never sits. And we are on to the Twins. Alex Kirilloff's been out a long time. He's a 0. Byron Buxton is injured again, unfortunately, which is too bad because he is just raking when he's in there, and then he gets hurt, and then he's back, and then he gets hurt. Don't think you can play him at all this weekend. Carlos Correa still on the IL with that plantar fasciitis. Carlos Santana's been playing almost every day. Did get a day off last Sunday. I think he's 2 or 3, so we're going to give him 2.5. Christian Vasquez, one of the Twins' 2 catchers. The Twins kind of alternate. I don't believe the Twins play today, which would mean Vasquez gets Friday and Sundays. That's 2. Jose Miranda. I think they should have this guy in every day, but they don't seem to agree. So he's just playing 2 out of 3 games right now. So I'm going to give him 2 as well. Manuel Margot would play against a lefty, and the Twins get 1. So I'd say Margot gets 1 as well. Matt Wallner usually will sit against lefties when he's not smoking hot, and he is pretty hot right now. I would definitely want him in there against right-handed pitching, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to give him 2 starts over the weekend. Max Kepler, same deal. He has started against a couple lefties. He might actually start all 3, 2 or 3. Give him 2.5. Royce Lewis played the last 4, but they do like to give him breaks, and it's because he, like Buxton, just gets hurt a lot. So he's been DHing some. That's probably good. Less chance for him to get injured while he's DHing. I think he's 2 or 3, unfortunately. I just don't know how much you can trust him. Ryan Jeffers, had a nice stretch there for a bit, but he's kind of just gotten back into that groove of being the every other catcher. I think he only gets 1 over the weekend. Trevor Larnach, another platoon bat, although he did hit against the lefty on Wednesday. He usually does not do that. Why would they do that? Who usually plays left field? Well, Margot. But Margot's playing right. And who usually plays right field? Kepler's out. Well, I don't know what's going on. So I don't expect Larnack to play against the lefty. I'll put him down for 2, even though he's starting against a lefty yesterday. Willie Castro's been playing pretty much every day, and I think they're going to have to keep playing him with all the injuries. And we are on to the Mets. Brandon Nimmo is ice cold right now and ill. You're not going to want him this weekend anyway. And if he's sick, let's just put him at a 0 for the weekend. Francisco Alvarez, everyday starting catcher, so he will get a day off here and there. I put him at 2 starts over the weekend. Frankie Lindor starting to heat up again a little bit. Thankfully, he had a little cold stretch there, but he never stays cold for too long. Too good a player. He's in there all 3. Harrison Bader, you can see his playing time is 3 games, day off, 3 games, day off, on, off, on. So he's probably a 1.5. If they have some lefties, they don't. Yeah, I think he's probably 1.5. They'd like him against the lefties, but they don't have any. So he's probably in there 1 or 2 of the days. JD Martinez cooled off considerably. And like I always say with JD Martinez, he's a guy that will sit if there's an early game. So with this 12:05 on Sunday, I think he probably gets a day here. He'll probably play the first 2. I'll give him 2. Jeff McNeil. Definitely going to be in there against those righties. And with all 3 righties, I expect McNeil to get all 3 games. Jesse Winker has been playing against most righties since coming over. I would expect him to be in there. Not sure if he's in there all 3, though, especially if they just picked up Eddie Rosario. So we'll see what happened here. Maybe Rosario's in the minors. I don't see him on their active roster. Okay. Jose Iglesias. Probably 2 games over the weekend, maybe 3, maybe 1. I'm gonna give him 2. Mark Vientos, luckily, is back here. Had a big hit last night. I think he's probably okay to play all 3. He's had a little time to heal up. And he was an everyday player before that. I'm going to put him back at 3. Pete Alonso never comes out. He's a 3. Starling Marte still on the IL. They keep saying he's coming back, and he never comes back. Tyrone Taylor. Really only like him against lefties, and you don't have any. I think maybe he gets a game, especially if Nimmo is out. And we are on to the Yankees. Oh, boy. I mean, just these 2 guys are so good. The number 1 and number 2 overall hitters this year on the same team. Wow. All right, well, Judge isn't coming out. He's a 3. With Jazz Chisholm going on the IL, Verdugo's playing time is safe again. I think he's in there all 3. Rizzo's still on the IL. He's a 0. Volpe, we were a little worried about, and it looks like he's okay. He's been playing. Didn't even miss a game, so he should be in there all 3. Ben Rice. The Ben Rice show really went off the rails here. He's 344 over the last 7 days. Only starting against some right-handers now. Definitely not starting against lefties. They get 2 lefties. I think maybe he probably gets that other start. So 1 start for Ben Rice. DJ LeMahieu. We've got pretty regular playing time against lefties for LeMahieu. And with the 2 lefties, I expect him to get 2 starts over the weekend. Stanton. I think they're definitely going to want him in against the against the left-handed pitching. He might start the other game too. We'll give him 2.5. Glaber should be in there all 3. Jazz is now on the IL with that arm injury. Hopefully he's okay and doesn't need surgery, but it doesn't look good. Soto all 3. Trent Grisham. He started yesterday, but very sporadically. I would think with Chisholm being out, you're going to see a little more of Trent Grisham going forward. I don't know exactly how much. Let's say 1.5 on him. And he is no longer injured. Okay, Oakland. Abraham Toro. We've got not much playing time lately. This is an everyday guy before he got hurt, and now that he's come back, he's kind of turned into a role player. I think you're gonna have to hit a little bit better if you want to work your way back into an everyday role. So for now, I think he's probably maybe 1 or 2 games. I can give him 1.5. Brent Rooker is on paternity leave, and he missed Wednesday, and he's missing today. Paternity leave is usually 3 days, so I'd expect him to miss Friday's game and then be back Saturday and Sunday. Are the A's only playing a 2-game series? Okay. Oh, this works out well. So with the A's being off on Friday, Rooker should be back for both of their games, although there's only a 2-game set. So you probably want to avoid the A's anyway. Let's make Toro a 1 since it's only a 2-game series. Daz Cameron really only hits against lefties. He just does get 1, so that'll be 1 start for him. Blade will only start against righties, so he's also a 1. Lawrence Butler's been hitting against both, although he's cooled off considerably. Did sit against the lefty today. I think he's probably in there for both, but I'm not 100% on that. Let's give him a 1.5. You're not going to play any of these A's this week anyway, with only being a 2-game set. Max Schumann playing almost all the time. We'll give him both. Miguel Andujar playing almost all the time. He just got a day off last Sunday. Let's give him both. Seth Brown doesn't play against lefties, so he should be a 1. Shea Langoliers had a nice stretch going here. I would expect him to, he has a day off tomorrow with a scheduled day off, and then should be back for both of them over the weekend. Tyler Nevin, I think, probably plays against the lefty, so he's a 1. Soderstrom still on the IL. He's 0. Zach Gelof's been maybe a little bit better, but still underperforming and striking out way too much. But he is an everyday player, so give him 2. All right, Philly. Am I going too fast for you? Go as fast as I can. When that garage door opens, my wife will expect me to unload the groceries. So we're gonna just fly through this as fast as we can. Alec Boehm not coming out. 3 starts. Austin Hayes injured. And on the IL, 0. Brandon Marsh, probably against right-handed pitching. They only get 1. Will he start against the lefty? Maybe, but probably not. We'll give him a 1.5. Bryce Harper should be in there against all 3. Bryson Stott, will he play against the lefty? Nope. 1 for Bryson Stott. Edmundo Sosa, will he play against the lefty? Yeah, he will. Lefty, 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 lefty. 2 starts for Edmundo Sosa. This guy's been chomping at the bit, probably waiting to get some more playing time. Real Muto, I would assume he's in there for 2 out of the 3, like he usually is. Normal catchers. Johan Rojas, we're looking at some more regular playing time lately. They do usually put him in against lefties. He's playing against righties as well. With Austin Hayes on the IL, I'd expect him to get either 2 or all 3, so we'll give him 2.5. Schwarber should be in there for all of them. Nick Castellanos never gets days off. He's in there all the time. Trey Turner got the day off on Wednesday. He's been kind of cold, but he should be in there all weekend. And we're on to Pittsburgh. Andrew McCutcheon, I've been trying to hit his days off, and I'm usually pretty good at it. He just got one today, so he should be fine for the weekend. Brian De La Cruz, has he hit anything yet since coming to Pittsburgh? Not really. And he's been sitting now a little bit since his bat's so cold. Do they give him another day here? Hard to say. 2.5, but you're not going to play him anyway. He's too cold. Brian Reynolds, everyday player. Get him in there. Connor Joe, only against the lefties right now, and they get none. So I would think Connor Joe is definitely not a start. Kiner Falefa's worked into an everyday role here. This guy, he just hangs around. He is an everyday player. 3 starts. Jared Triolo, not a good hitter. Really only play against the lefty. He's going to be a 0. Jiwon Bay, you're looking at kind of a half player here, half starts, 1.5 probably out of the 3. Brian Hayes plays pretty much every day. Just can't hit. This guy is so frustrating. Looks like he's going to be good every year, and then he isn't. He hasn't had a day off in a while. I think they're sitting him 1. I'm going to give him a 2. Nick Gonzalez, unfortunately, still on the IL. He looked good early. O'Neill Cruz sitting today against the lefty after playing against the last bunch of lefties. I think he's probably just getting a rest day here, so I think he's probably in all 3. Rowdy Telez, he doesn't play against lefties, but again, all 3 righties for them, so he should be fine. And we are on to San Diego. San Diego's another team that's pretty easy to read usually, which is great. David Peralta starts against righties, sits against lefties. We look at San Diego, righty, lefty, so he should get 2. We've got Donovan Solano, who was playing against everybody for a while, but now I think you're looking at just left-handed starters for him. So give him 1. Tatis, hopefully he's close. I haven't heard anything. Still on the IL for now. Hassan Kim got a day off on Wednesday. Rare day off for him. He almost never sits, so I'd expect him in all weekend. Jackson Merrill's been unconscious. He should be in there all weekend. And that 40.68 is warranted. Like the 60s from Carpenter and Michael Harris were not. Jackson Merrill is your top player who hasn't just missed 3 months with injuries. He's just been great. He's 21. That's insane. Jake Cronenworth, everyday player. Jerkson Profar, everyday player. Higishioka, everyday starting catcher. I'm going to give him 2. Luis Arraez should be in there every day. He's actually heated up considerably. Campusano, backup catcher, he's a 1. Manny Machado, he should be in there every day. He did get a day off on Monday, but before that, he started every game going back to June 9th. So I expect him in all weekend. And that's all I got for San Diego. We're on to Seattle. Cal Raleigh finally gets a day off on Tuesday after starting, 30 games in a row. I think he's in there all weekend. Oh, I missed Bogarts, but Bogarts is an everyday player unless he's injured, but I don't think so. I haven't heard anything. Nope. Bogarts should be in there. You're fine there. 3 games. Cal Raleigh. Okay, yep. Cal Raleigh got a day off, as we were saying, on Tuesday. He should be in there all week. And Dominic Canzone is back from the IL. He will not play against lefties for sure, and will only play against some righties. I think they have 2. I'm going to give him 1.5. It'll either be 1 or 2 starts this week. Dylan Moore was playing every day for a while there. Looks like he still is for the most part. Got a day off on Sunday, but he should be somewhere. This guy can play all over the place. Good guy to have. JP Crawford's still in the IL. He's a 0. Jorge Polanco's been playing almost every day. Did sit against some lefties, but he's been a little bit better lately. Finally, been waiting for this all year. I think he starts 2 or 3. I'm going to give him 2.5. Josh Rojas should start against those right-handed pitchers, and of course they have 2 of them, so I would expect him to be in there twice. Just make sure we've got everything. Yep. All lefties he's been sitting against, so let's give him 2. Julio injured again, and it was the same ankle that he'd missed time with in the past. I don't think we can trust him this weekend. Even if he was healthy, he just hasn't looked like the same guy this year, so hopefully he figures it out. Don't think we can use him this weekend. Justin Turner, got him at the deadline from Toronto. He was starting every day, and now he's kind of sitting half and half, over 300 ranking the last 7 days. I don't think you can trust him right now, unfortunately. 1.5 for him. We've got Luke Raley will play against the righties and sit against the lefties, so that would be a 2 for Luke Raley. Mitch Garver will definitely play against the lefty. May play against some righties. I think he's going to be a 1.5. Mitch Haniger, pretty regular playing time, and now with Julio back out, I think he's probably in there all three, but I'm not 100%. So we're going to go 2.5 for Haniger. Rosarena should be out there all weekend. Robles should be out there all weekend. And we're on to San Francisco. Couple of teams left, and we're done with this. All right, let's see here. So San Francisco, the other team with a 2-game set over the weekend, they play Oakland. Brett Wisely has been starting against righties and some lefties, but mostly righties. Let's see what San Francisco has. Righty and a lefty. I'm going to say he's in there once. Casey Schmidt has been the other side of that. I think he's also in there once. Ramos should be out there both. Lamont Wade doesn't really start against lefties, so he's probably a 1. Mark Hanna has moved himself into a short side of a platoon, so I assume he's only out there against the lefty. Matt Chapman should start both. Got the day off today. Wait a minute. Nope. No, he didn't. He plays all the time. That was Conforto. So Conforto has lost his everyday role now. He's cooled off a little bit. Now he's sitting against lefties again. So we're going to put him at a 1 and turn him yellow because he is now a strong side platoon. Mike Yastrzemski still starting against both despite not hitting. How long does it last? Well, might last through the weekend. He's only a 10 for a projection anyway, so it doesn't matter. Patrick Bailey, he's your starting catcher. Sat today, gets the day off tomorrow. I think he's probably out there both. Tyro Estrada, 0 IL. Tyler Fitzgerald, still hitting, still starting every day. He's a 2. Wilmer Flores, still on the IL. And we are into St. Louis. And Alec Burleson actually got a day off and another day off after starting pretty much every game for months. He's cooled considerably. The 2 days off are both against left-handed pitching. You see they have 2 over the weekend. So I don't know if you can even count on Burleson to play all 3. I'm going to give him 2. I think he starts against one of those lefties and probably sits the other one. Brendan Donovan looks like he's a pretty regular player. They usually sit him once in a while, but looks like he's is he hot? He's okay. These are tough. 2.5. Lars Nootbaar just hasn't been hitting against lefties, which is too bad. He just can crush right-handed pitching, but he can't hit lefties at all. So maybe 1, maybe 2 starts for Nootbaar, I would think. Mason Wynn should be in there all the time. He just got a rest day here. Matt Carpenter has been playing a little more lately, but now he's on the IL. Oh, well, he did something here. I think he hit like 2 homers and then didn't play, and then now he's hurt. So 0, and we'll make him pink. All right. Ciani still on the IL. He's a 0. Nolan Arenado should be in there, all 3. Nolan Gorman really struggling against lefties as well. With the 2 lefties, I think he only gets maybe 1, maybe 2 starts. We'll give him 1.5. Goldschmidt should be out there all weekend. Tommy Pham, I don't understand why they're taking this guy out. I know he's a little bit cold, but this guy's such a good hitter. I think he's probably out there. He's almost certainly out there against both lefties. Might play against the righty. Looking at his recent game logs, though, I'm just going to give him 2. Wilson Contreras, your everyday catcher and DH. He should be out there. Tampa Bay. We've got Ben Rorkvet, still your everyday catcher, but losing some playing time to Alex Jackson. I think they're pretty even split right now. I'm going to give him 1.5. Brandon Lau, they really don't like to play him against lefties, but they will when his bat is hot. Looks like it's just kind of hot right now. I would say, yeah, three righties. He'll be out there all 3, though. Chris Morel's been so bad. 353 over the last 7 days, but he's still playing. I think he's out there all 3. Ugh, awful. Dylan Carlson, he would play against lefties, but doesn't play much against righties. A little bit. Yeah, we'll give him 1.5. Let's see here. Johnny DeLuca. They've been playing him almost every day. Say probably 2.5 for him. Wow, this Rays lineup is pretty bad. Caballero, he's been pretty hot, but they're still sitting him against righties. I don't think you can trust him for full playing time. I don't know if he'll get 2 games. Jose Siri, dead cold. Maybe 1.5. I mean, there's just nobody in Tampa that's really trustworthy right now. Josh Lowe should play against all 3 with them being right-handed. Richie Palacio is still on the IL. Taylor Walls, pretty regular playing time, but again, here's a day off, here's another day off, here's another day. You just can't trust these guys to get full playing time because they're constantly getting days off. Yandy Diaz should be out there. And we're on to Texas. Ooh, and Adelise. Adelise is finally maybe heating up. 15th of the last week. I don't think he comes out. Corey Seager looks pretty good. He doesn't come out. Evan Carter's still on the IL. Oh, I was going to sneeze there. Ezekiel Duran is with the... Bless me. Ezekiel Duran still on the active roster, but not playing at all. So give him a 0. Texas, another team that's really easy to peg, luckily. Jonah Heim's losing a lot of playing time. I don't think you can trust him for more than like 1 game over the weekend. Carson Kelly's been taking his spot. Josh Young, back from injury, looking good. Just got the day off on Wednesday. Well, not looking good, 348, but at least he's playing. I think he plays all weekend. Josh Smith, still top 100. I think he's in there all weekend. Leody Tavares, they don't like against lefties. Texas gets 3 righties. I'd expect Tavares to have a full weekend. Marcus Semien doesn't come out. Nathaniel Lowe will not come out against right-handed pitching. Wyatt Langford doesn't sit. And that's it for Texas. We're on to Toronto. Bo Bichette is still on the IL. Dalton Varsho getting regular playing time lately, and he's hot, so he should be out there for all 3. Davis Schneider, pretty sporadic. They like him against lefties. They get 2, so I expect 2 starts for Davis Schneider. Ernie Clement's been very nice. Top 100 hasn't come out since July 20th, so played almost a month straight. Expect him out there all 3. George Springer yelled at an umpire and got ejected the other day. Will he get suspended? Probably not. Probably just a fine. Just rested on Monday. I expect him out there all 3. Loper Fido, pretty sporadic here. I know they don't like him against lefties. I think maybe he just gets 1 start over the weekend. They probably are alternating him with somebody else. Spencer Horwitz, despite being much better against righties, is playing against lefties right now. He's a 3. Vlad's not coming out. He's still pretty hot. And we're on to Washington. Last one. Whew. All right. CJ Abrams had a little back injury. Looks like he's back in the lineup. Hopefully he can get it going again. He was great at the start of the season. I still expect him to be out there all 3. I'm going to get him back to green. Jacob Young really doesn't come out. I expect him out there all 3. James Wood doesn't come out. Expect him out there all 3. Joey Gallo still on the IL. Juan Yepes, he's not sitting. Keibert Ruiz, starting catcher, will get a day off here and there. I expect him to get 2 over the weekend. And Luis Garcia. And Luis Garcia has been playing against some of the lefties. He's hot. I think you're almost at the point where you can consider him a full-time player. And that's exciting because he's pretty good. Yeah, if he could figure out how to hit lefties, I think he's in there all the time. Washington gets 2 righties and a lefty. I'm going to go for it. I think Garcia's in there all 3. They just don't have anybody else. They might as well stick him out there and hope he can figure it out. So, all right, there you go. There are your playing time estimates for game week 41. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw and you want to join our private Discord, get all these projections in a sheet that's organized just for your gallery, I can do all that for you. It's $5 a month through our Patreon. I will put a link Where am I going to put a link? Well, let's see. There are links in all my videos, but I don't think I put it in the show notes here. You can contact me, comment. If you want access, I'll get it for you. All right. Thanks for watching. Ooh.